let's just go over some of the discourse in the comments and quotes before we move on, because Asmongold, spoilers, Asmongold exposes the manufactured reality of streaming and how it relates because of the conversation here of Sea-Dog's point on problematic media. And ultimately, problematic media becomes problematic because there's a louder population of people who are yelling, "Lollies are bad. Women in games is being sexualized. A game is transphobic. Respect my identity, my identity as a trans person, my identity as non-binary, as gay. Things can be gayer. They should be gayer, but the problem is you don't push this into the throat of people who say, please, no, right? Anyways, let me focus. I need to focus. Focus. People are mad because coming from the same dude that thinks you're a pedophile for like lollies, and that's been ratioed by the original poster because he's never said that and is aware that Joe and Giga are lolicons and is close friends with them. He does consider it weird and pokes fun at it. Yeah, you're telling me that you've never had a friendship with another person to where they like ABC and you poke fun at it? It's kind of like the kind of things you there are things that you do in behind closed doors. You joke about it. You joke about another person's. You joke about people's. It's essentially the same thing as people poking at your friend. We're saying, "Oh, you like pineapple on pizza? That's weird. You like anchovies on pizza? That's weird." Shoot. One of the funny things that I do is I put mayonnaise on donuts, but not all donuts, right? I am personally a mayonnaise fiend. If there's mayonnaise, that will be my condiment regardless of food. I put mayonnaise on pizza, and you can put ranch on pizza too, but joke's on you, there is mayonnaise in ranch. I put mayonnaise on hot dogs, on things that are like sandwiches. I put mayonnaise on rice sometimes, depending on like if I do like chicken and rice, sausage and rice, I'll put mayonnaise on that, right? If there is a Korean corn dog, mayonnaise. If I do something like stir-fried noodles, depending on the accessories to the stir-fried noodles, I'll put mayonnaise on that, right? I have a personal love for mayonnaise on food, and people will find that weird. But do my friends poke fun at me about that? Yes. Would they avoid my preference? Yes. Joey and Giguk they enjoy lolicons because they keep it in the context of the TV show, right? Because let me see. Arrow Sensei. Can I am I able to, is there a way, how do I let me see, let's do this. Aramanga Sensei is this is Aramanga Sensei, right? I don't know who's the Aramanga artist, but all these characters are middle school, high school characters. This is the main protagonist that has a figure. This is the character that is underaged. This is the miner that is going on the beach. She has a beach outfit. That makes sense because she is a character who is going to the beach. And Aramanga Sensei is about this character, right? So let me see. Let me just read what it's about. In this instance, Aramanga Sensei. Let me see. What is allegedly like on surface level, Aramanga Sensei is a romance comedy about Masamune Izumi, high school. Okay, so she is a high schooler who happens to have youthful small proportions, right? There are such women that are flat, you know. Sometimes there are women who are flat, sometimes they have like a small size in breasts and butts. That's a thing. There's no way of changing it, much like how men are sexualized to where if you have a big if guys are sexualized where you're not dateable if you don't have six pack abs. You're not dateable if you have pectoral for days. Men are sexualized for having like the most fittest of figures, and if you're like fat by any means, you're unloved. You're disliked even. There is a situation where if a man's member is not big enough, you are not preferred, right? It's an ongoing thing when it comes to sexualizing content and sexualizing people, to where it's an ongoing joke to where there's a card in Card Against Humanity to where it says what is it? What's the word? There's a box. There's a box to hold your Card Against Humanity's cards, and the box is called Bigger Blacker Box. For those of you who don't know what a bigger blacker box is referring to, it is a inside joke, and we know what that means. But for everybody else, it's just a long box that is colored black that fits your cards along within it. That makes sense, right? For the normal person, a bigger blacker box for Card Against Humanity is just a big box. That's it, full stop, for a lot of people. But for the majority of people who are aware of what it actually means, who know what the innuendo means, it's crazy to where people understand. There's an ongoing joke with a foot long, right? People make fun of the measurement of foot long for obvious reasons. For men, they do that too, and it's incredibly crazy to where there's problematic media when it comes to the way people are depicted, but people get extremely sensitive the moment it's the depiction of a female character, right? People keep taking things out of context and make a problem out of it. But again, like I was saying, Masamune Izumi is a high schooler light novel author. He discovers that his no, never mind. I made a mistake. Masamune Izumi is not the girl that we're in discussion that we're having a conversation about. He's a high schooler. He's a high schooler who discovers that his anonymous illustrator, with the quote, what is it? It's like a pen name. He discovers that his anonymous illustrator, pen named Aramanga Sensei, known for drawing highly suggestive art, is actually his shut-in younger stepsister, Sagiri. Together they navigate the complete competitive publishing industry while dealing with their increasingly awkward sibling dynamic. Yeah, because it's incredibly awkward to where even the concept of stepsister and stepbrother is a it's so problematic that even within the realms of Twitter and within the realms of Twitter of X and probably Blue Sky, right? Hold on, let me just yeah. Even within the problems of Blue Sky, right? If you type, I will not do that. But if you type in here stepbrother or stepsister or um, things like that nature, it gives you a search result of problematic media. And how do I know this? Because the internet is extremely big. The internet is extremely long, and I've I've been alive before the internet was public. I've been alive for as long as you've known dinosaurs. From the moment that you knew what dinosaurs were, from the moment you knew what pirates were, I am that old. I'm extremely old, right? And and it's crazy to where Connor, if Connor doesn't like the premise of uh, suggestive art involving kids or involving minors, that is not his thing. Sure, that is okay. There's also a environment to where My Hero Academia, for it being a TV. This and again, this is a TV. Hold on, let me just like um, let me just do this.
Young people.
Hold on. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave you right there, okay, Connor, because it's funny, because it's cool. Um, but again, it's a funny situation where even within the realms of My Hero Academia, it is a problematic um, conversation to have because everybody who is in anime has the understanding and knows that the content of My Hero itself is really good. The problem comes with the fandom to where at the time they're doing the shippings of Izuku Midoriya and Bakugo to where they're making them the gay couple. They're making people like Ochaka and what's the frog girl's name? Oh god. My Hero Academia. For Froppy. Yeah, Froppy's her hero name, right? But her name is Suya. I don't know if you enunciate the T, but it's Suya Asui, and her pro hero name is Froppy. But again, it's incredibly funny to where there are certain proportions. These My Hero. Hold on. Let me see if I can open the image in a new tab. Let me see if I can do this. To where the problem with My Hero is definitely not the show itself. The show isn't the problem. People like the show. People like watching My Hero Academia because it's a tried and true trope where people like something to root for. People like the hero genre. People like what if he had superpowers to help you out throughout the day, right? People like the idea of like, oh, there's this quirk about you. That's pretty cool. This show magnifies the idea of quirks into being superheroes, and even with people's understanding that this is a high school setting, people have done terrible media or sexualized media about the content of these guys. There's people who are saying that Izuku Midoriya and Bakugo are a couple. Sometimes people are saying that this girl, Ochako and Suya, are in a relationship, and then it's a whole thing, right? People are unreasonable when it comes to these kind of things, and it's wild for me to think. It's wild for me to see that people take media and they transform media into however they want to uh, consume it, right? If you look up My Hero Academia, that's why the keyword NSF for work is a thing, because that's and it's not safe for work is considered problematic media. People understand that it's there, but people don't publicly talk about it, right? People don't talk about the racist jokes that they make to each other. People don't. There's not a lot of people who publish their what is not. It's not. What am I talking about? The word I'm looking for is prejudice. Jokes about one thing or the other. I can joke about me being an Asian American because it's an ongoing joke where back in the day, 2,000 years ago, all the Asian there's a thing called Asian fever, right? Where people want to date there's people who want to date the Korean chick, the Japanese chick, the Viets too, right? But there's not enough. You rarely see Asian girls dating within their communities, right? You rarely see Filipinos dating Filipinos because what if they're cousins, right? You never see the Vietnamese girl dating the Vietnamese guy because everybody knows that they are almost like, it's like marrying your family because you see too much of that at home. And for some people, you always see the Viet girl or the Japanese girl talking to the white guy, right? There's that stereotype to where you never see yourself, the Asian American, to be the one people are dating, right? And if you're dating someone, it's not someone of your culture. But it's incredibly funny to where problematic people magnify content, and it's wild. People magnify controversies, and it's crazy. But some of the other comments include, I think this dude is trying to pivot nowadays, seeing that he was in the wrong team. Wait, what? They say Connor is a scummy snake that will say whatever opinion gets him the most money and views. I said it before and I say it again. He's the Ludwig of anime. Never take him seriously. Their opinions will change based on whatever is safest opinion. Have you considered that people pivot because they're getting older? Like, that's why you can, if there's people that can say their opinions 5 years ago, 4 years ago was harmful and apologize for it, then let them apologize. If people are trying to apologize, then let them apologize. It's incredibly wild, right? It's incredibly crazy to where it's incredible to think that people can change their opinion over the course of 6-7 years, because he's making this statement to where I'm incredibly confident that if you say a statement right now, do you think that the version of you from 6-7 years ago would have that opinion? And if they would have, then congratulations. But for the rest of the world, there's a lot of people that will either maintain or change their opinions based on how their opinions affect the people in their life, right? But anyways, what else does the rest of the comments say? I can't take the message seriously because Connor is saying it. he's like the main perpetrator of getting scared of problematic media. Again, have you ever considered that your hot takes back then aged poorly, and so you take a different stance? It's like saying that back then you hate pizza, and then it turns out 5 years later you're okay with it, but your first experience was what messed you up. And Sagiri, who's Sagiri again? Wait, again, who is Sagiri? Sagiri. Oh, that's right. Izumu Sagiri is, again, it's the back to discussing Eromanga Sensei in the context of this clip, in the context of what people, this is the context that people are talking about, right? Where
Fuck.
This is the context that people are talking about, to where 5 years ago at their old, this looks like their old studio, but within their old studio, like 5 years ago, they were doing a what is it, an anime figure special, to where they would go shopping with a budget around Akihabara, around the area at the time. They would buy figures with set budget where everyone had $100, $300, $500. I don't remember the amount. And they all bought figures under a certain category, under a certain limit, and they got points for if the figure was a match for something. And this is a figure of Sagiri Izumi from Eromanga Sensei. Now, if you enjoyed the contents of Eromanga Sensei, then this figure might be for you. It's like the same conversation to where if you liked Degrassi back then, you would probably buy like the DVD set for Degrassi. If Degrassi had figures, there are some people that buy action figures of Star Wars, of Lord of the Rings. This is the same thing, right? This is the same thing. Buying these figures of these anime characters is the equivalent of buying the action figure of Captain America, of Anakin Skywalker, of Cobra Commander. That is the same equivalence. And yet people are going wild the moment where this character, who happens to be the stepsister of high schooler, Connor, is obviously blowing up this situation because at the time he doesn't like it. Let's kind of watch.
I can judge.
What the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, that I shout out Eromanga Sensei just for Gaunt. Everybody, round of applause.
Well done, Joey. Well done. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Joey.
Are we going to prison?
Even though I saw about 10 Eromanga Sensei.
And he says we're going to prison because he himself is uncomfortable with the idea of manifesting a figure for a character that is underaged. Because again, for whatever reason, we can accept figures, and it's funny to where we can accept these kind of figures of characters that are in high school. And again, hold on, let me see. Youngest age of high school. Sorry, that's the wrong word. How do I phrase it correctly? Age range of high school students in Japan. In Japan, the high school, or koko, generally serves students from ages 15 to 18. This covers grades 10 through 12. So at bare minimum, children that are depicted in high school at minimum 15, right? That is the bare minimum of most of these high school students. And I have not watched. Hold on. Is Sagiri Izumi in? Is she in high school? No, that's not great. So here's the thing. What makes him uncomfortable is that there is a physical figure of a 12-year-old that's in middle school, and out of context, if you talk about the show without expressing the age of these characters, this looks like a very nice figure for the person who likes Eromanga Sensei, right? Who likes the funny comedy about a high schooler author and a stepsister illustrator who happens to be 12, making and publishing physical media, publishing like I don't know if it's a manga or like it's a light novelist. It's a publisher publishing media in Japan during the setting of the show. You have to objectively see these things, right? To where this is the figure of a young girl of a TV show that people like. That's like saying, "Oh, I want a figure of iCarly because this iCarly figure looks good and it represents a TV show that I like." What about a figure of Victorious, think about. I'm trying to give examples to relate the conversation, right? To where, like, if you're focusing, if you can't get past the fact that the character is 12 and you don't want this in front of you, that's completely okay. Let's get that straight out there. However,
Because along the way,
Why is there so many?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's popular enough, I guess. It's actually not too bad, to be honest with you. I'm not exactly a fan of.
and again, it's not. It's like all it is Sagiri dressed, and then there's the like carpet floor that Sagiri would be sitting on. I guess.
Manga Sensei, but this is actually pretty solid.
I think you'd have the FBI knocking if you said you were.
Well,
I mean,
Garn should be used to that by now, right?
again, this is a bunch of dudes who are in the same room, who are comfortably filming on camera, talking to each other, right? This, within the context of this clip, this is three guys who are best friends talking to each other, and also at the same time, like, they're consuming. These are adults having a conversation about a thing that is discussed.
I'm okay not seeing the figure, you know?
He doesn't want to see the figure because, again, it's a figure of a 12-year-old, and in the context of the show, like, within context, he doesn't like the idea of having a figure depicting a 12-year-old around him or in front of him, and I believe this fear is based on the fact that social media is a thing. You can get canceled for anything on social media. You can get canceled for being misrepresented through a Discord chat taken out of context. You are rightfully canceled on the internet for shocking a dog and getting away with it. There are these things that the wall of social media can protect you from, to where if you say something wrong in social media, you can honestly, if you don't like the backlash, you can delete the account, get a new account, and you can start over again. But you can't do that in person. So you say things in person comfortably with the person who you're comfortable with. In this case, Connor's comfortable with Giguk and Joey, who like Eromanga Sensei for what it is, but not what it's perceived.
Sure.
Looks like a child's playmat there. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. Don't worry.
The fuck is that?
I think it's supposed to symbolize Sagiri's like bed. Right?
Yeah, it's like, again, what person doesn't wear comfortable clothes that they feel is comfortable in their bed?
What happens in this anime? Why is it children's stuff?
Because she is a hentai artist.
Yeah, it's incredibly funny. I say funny haha because why is this 12-year-old drawing things in suggestive ways, and why does she draw suggestive content really well? That's the funny thing about it, to where, why is this happening? Kind of like how the concept of a child who falls down, gets up, is completely okay. When you fall down and get up in your 30s and 50s, that's a problem. But when you fall down and get up when you're a kid, it's okay.
Yeah. She's
What?
like,
Yeah.
she's the eromanga sensei.
She's the eromanga sensei.
Yeah.
And the
She's like 10.
and the brother, I believe, is an eromanga author, right? He's like,
Yes,
yeah,
he is an author.
How do I remember more of eromanga sensei than
I
you?
don't know that.
Bro, she's practically got like the fucking cars bed, bro. What is that? She's not a hentai
Basically,
artist. Oh no, what the fuck? What the fuck is that?
All right, and
What the fuck?
and the grand
Wait,
reveal.
why is it like a child's playmat?
I mean, how?
Again, not a child's playmat. It's the depiction of her on the carpet or her on the bed of her bedroom.
What is Sagiri again in the show?
I have no idea.
Bro!
Black ignorance, because everybody knows. Everybody knows. But
There you go. There's Sagiri.
No!
I think this goes.
Playmat!
I mean, how old is Sagiri again in the show?
I have.
The grand
Wait,
reveal.
why is it there? What is that? She's not a hentai
Basically,
artist. Oh no, what the fuck? What the fuck is that?
All right, and
What the fuck?
and the grand
Wait,
reveal.
why is it like a child's playmat?
again, he is uncomfortable with the idea because, like, this character is obviously a person of, like, youthful proportions, right? And
Playmat!
I mean, how old is Sagiri again in the show?
again,
I have no idea.
Bro, a child's playmat!
I mean, how old is Sagiri again in the show?
I have.
again, he's playing ignorance because he knows, I know, that the moment you say the age, Connor will get even louder. He would have vehemently gotten up and walked away from the table just to not be in the same clip. But at the same time, it's the understanding of two types of people. There's the types of people here who are accepting of what it is and frame what they like about it within the show, to where they don't like it because these are young depicted characters. They don't like the show because he's a high schooler who's a eromanga who is an ecchi or ero illustrator novelist. He's an author to an eromanga light novel, right? And it just, for whatever reason, his extremely young stepsister draw these things. That's just the thing. Yeah, they're completely okay with it because within the context, Connor's just because at this point, if he's drawing, I mean, they were excited because, again, the show, they like the figure because of the show, man.
Modern mosh, but like,
They like it because of the show, not because of, like, oh, the character's this old, or oh my god, the fact that she's a middle schooler doing this whole thing. It's incredibly wild. Some of the biggest shows of the last several seasons have been The Boys, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and South Park, to name a few. Yeah, like, no one talks about how incredibly gross some things of The Boys are, to where there's a guy who, when he releases, it comes out as magma, right? Or the fact of, like, there is a guy who looks like and does Aquaman things, but he is obviously shown to be sexually active with aquatic creatures and humans. That's like and then there's Breaking Bad, to where it's a show about a teacher who has cancer making crack and making drugs. Game of Thrones, I think the first season or the first episode had someone being sexually assaulted. South Park, as a TV show about grade schooler kids doing the most heinous of things, like fart jokes, poop jokes of an obscene manner, and they even have a talking poop dude walking around in like a towel, right? And it's incredibly wild, to where there's things about South Park that people should be having a problem with, and yet they say it's their favorite show when it's a show about grade schoolers who are like living in this city doing the weirdest things. Because like some of these like outrages of problematic media is incredibly performative to an extent. Let me see. Not sure these people. Why is that the thing? Why is that crazy? But anyways, that's like again, just it's conversations about problem media. The conversations media stay problematic if people don't have a civilized conversation about it. That's ultimately like the point, to where it's incredibly wild, to where problematic media stays problematic when people don't talk, especially where they say, if people can't leave the conversation, people can't leave the conversation saying, I respect your enjoyment, I don't like it, and that's it. That's the line. But the moment people are attacking each other for liking ABC, that's when people can't have a conversation. Yeah, just it's I don't know where this is gonna go. I'm sure they're gonna be fine.